3 days after I died, my biased mom finally found my body. My younger brother and I had been in a car accident. I was dying and needed emergency treatment. But my mom, the hospital director, called every doctor and nurse over to care for my brother, who only had a few minor scrapes. I lay on the freezing stretcher, using the last of my strength to beg Mom to save me, but she turned around, glared at me, and snapped impatiently. "Will you stop making a scene? Your brother scraped his skin, do you even understand that?" Then she turned away and never looked at me again. I felt the warmth leaving my body as my vision blurred. In the end, I died alone in a forgotten corner. But later, I heard that the mother who hated me most went insane after learning I was dead. Inside the operating room, I suddenly became conscious again. I slowly sat up and saw my own pale, lifeless body lying on the operating table. Pulled by some mysterious force, I dragged my still aching soul out of the operating room and floated to Mom's side. She was staring anxiously at my brother in the hospital bed, speaking in a tenderness I barely recognized. "QQ, please wake up soon. When you wake up, I'll make that animal apologize to you in person." Dad stood beside her, looking annoyed. That animal, Su Xiangyang, would only cause more trouble if he came. If it weren't for him, QQ wouldn't have been hurt this badly. Honestly, I wish he'd just die. I sneered from the side. Mom and Dad had already decided everything was my fault. At that moment, every rescue worker was crowded inside Su Yankyo's room. Without Mom's permission, no one dared to leave. Only after a doctor confirmed that Su Yankyo was fine did one of the workers cautiously mention me. Director Xiangyang looked seriously injured. "Shouldn't you go check on him?" Mom immediately dropped her worried expression and became impatient. What kind of stunt is that animal pulling now? Doesn't he realize what he did to his brother? And he still has the nerve to cause trouble? I stared blankly at Mom. I no longer felt sad. There was only a hollow emptiness in my chest, as if a piece had been torn out. Su Yankyu and I were hurt at the same time. I was clearly worse off, so why did everyone assume I had hurt him? Maybe to save face, Mom finally called my phone. When a nurse answered on my behalf, Mom didn't even wait for anyone to speak before launching into a tirade. "Su Xiangyang, can you act like an older brother for once? You nearly injured your brother's bones, and now you're still throwing a tantrum?" After scolding me, she immediately hung up without showing the slightest concern. She even ordered every rescue worker to stay beside my brother's room, just in case. Floating in the air, I forced a bitter smile. Inside, I felt nothing. The nurse immediately called her back. "Director Meng, your son Su Xiangyang couldn't be saved. He may not make it. If you come now, you might still see him one last time." Convinced I was still causing trouble, Mom let out a cold laugh. "Looks like that rotten kid wasn't hurt badly enough. He can still get a nurse to lie for him." Just then, Su Yankyu, who had been faking unconsciousness, coughed weakly and slowly opened his eyes. "What's wrong, Mom? Did something happen to my brother?" As he spoke, he pretended to be worried and tried to get up to find me. Mom hurriedly stopped him, her face full of concern while her voice grew even more disgusted. "Su Xiangyang, if you were half as sensible as your brother, none of this would have happened. Get over here, kneel down and apologize to him." Then she angrily hung up again. Dad looked completely disgusted. "Yankyu was just injured and needs rest. Why call that useless animal over here?" A smug look flashed in Su Yankyo's eyes, but to avoid being exposed, he quickly lowered his head and put on a guilty expression. "Mom, Dad, please don't be angry. I know my brother still blames me for taking his spot at the top high school. It's all my fault." I found it almost laughable. Even after my death, Su Yankyo was still turning Mom and Dad against me, but they would never notice. In their eyes, Su Yankyo would always be the obedient, well-behaved child. They would never consider that the accident might not have been an accident at all. Seeing Su Yankyu look so wronged, Mom's expression instantly turned cold. What's the point of sending someone as selfish as him to a top school? It would only waste the spot. And if he actually got in, he'd come out so full of himself he wouldn't even remember his own name. Pretending to be innocent, Su Yankyu started defending me. "Mom, don't say that about my brother. He must really care about that school spot. That's why he went so far. He probably thinks that if he becomes as good as me, you and Dad will finally notice him." Mom frowned deeply. If he really wanted our attention, he should behave instead of constantly using dirty tricks to cause trouble. After insulting me, Mom immediately turned to comfort Su Yankyo. "Come on. I know our Yankyu is the sweetest, but you need to be careful who you're kind to. Being kind to a cold-hearted dog like Su Xiangyang will only get you hurt and encourage him to bully you even more." Su Yankyu pretended to half understand and said nothing more. He knew better than anyone how to manipulate our parents' emotions. There was no need to overdo it. He only had to plant the idea. I had long since gotten used to it. Ever since we were kids, Su Yankyu could win our parents over with a few words, making them praise him while scolding me in disgust. Even if I stood before them and humbly explained everything, they would only assume I was lying to frame Su Yankyu. The sound of a door flying open interrupted their conversation. I looked over and saw our older sister, Su Wanying. She was normally too busy even to eat, but the moment she heard about Su Yankyo, she rushed back. In our family, she spoiled Su Yankyu even more than our parents did. Before he could react, she rushed to the bedside and carefully checked him from head to toe. After confirming his injuries weren't serious, she pulled him tightly into her arms. "What happened to you? QQ, you nearly scared me to death." Su Yankyu pulled the same trick again, speaking weakly. "I'm fine, aren't I? Don't worry, sis. My brother must have accidentally pushed me out of the car. Please don't blame him." The second he finished speaking, the entire family exploded. Su Wenying's eyes widened. What? That animal Su Xiangyang pushed you out? Mom, Dad, how could you let him get away with that? Where is he? I'll beat him to death! Dad slammed his palm down on the table. I thought he just failed to look after you and caused an accident. But he actually did it on purpose! When I find that bastard, I'll break his legs! Mom's eyes filled with hatred, as if she wanted to strangle me herself. Don't worry, Chukyu. I'll never let him get away with this. Su Yankyu's eyes darted nervously. Afraid his lie might be exposed, he quickly tried to backtrack. Mom, Dad, Sis, please don't be so angry with him. I don't want you hurting my brother because of me. Maybe I was too scared and remembered it wrong. He's still my real brother. Even if he hates me, he probably wouldn't actually try to kill me. Our sister sighed and gently stroked his head. You're just too sweet. You're always making excuses for people. When you grow up, you'll understand how cruel people can be. Mom immediately agreed with her. Exactly. When I got there, that vicious little bastard was lying beside Chukyu, pretending to die and claiming he couldn't hold on. He was clearly trying to hurt his brother by delaying the rescue. Su Yankyu quickly grabbed Mom's arm, not wanting her to continue. Mom, maybe my brother really was injured. Can we just let this go and stop talking about him? He shook Mom's arm and acted cute, knowing she could never resist him. Mom helplessly shook her head. I must have done something wonderful in a past life to deserve a son like you. Unlike Su Xiangyang, who's rotten to the core. I'll listen to you and ignore him. We just won't let him come home anymore. Then he can't hurt you again. I quietly stood in the corner, watching Mom, Dad, and my sister gather around Su Yankyo's bed. An indescribable bitterness filled my heart. I felt like a maggot in a gutter, secretly staring at someone else's happiness. But they were my family too. We were both their sons and brothers, yet Su Yankyo received endless love while everyone treated me like vermin. I desperately wanted to escape and never hear another word from them. But my soul was chained to Mom's side, unable to go anywhere. All I could do was listen as they freely cursed me. A few days later, after being carefully looked after by the entire family, Su Yankyu was discharged. Mom rushed around packing his things. Dad drove the car to the hospital entrance early, afraid Yankyu might have to walk an extra step. Our sister wouldn't even let him put on his own shoes. On the way home, Mom complained angrily. Su Xiangyang is absolutely worthless. His brother is already leaving the hospital, and he never visited once, let alone apologized. Just wait until I get home. Dad glanced at Mom. I told you keeping him at home would only cause trouble. Something was bound to happen sooner or later. Hearing them talk about punishing me brought a flood of painful memories. Ever since we were little, Mom had favored my brother and forced me to give him everything. It all started on the day he was born, when I accidentally spilled water and caused Mom to slip and go into premature labor. Seeing my brother inside an incubator broke the entire family's heart. Dad even slapped me so hard that he ruptured my eardrum. You little curse, your brother was just born and you nearly got him killed. Mom weakly opened her eyes from the hospital bed, staring at me with disappointment. In elementary school, Dad beat me so badly I couldn't get out of bed for 3 days, all because Su Yankyu and I fought over a toy car. It was my favorite toy, even though Dad had only bought it for me as an afterthought while buying gifts for Su Yankyu. Su Yankyu already had boxes full of toy cars, yet he deliberately tried to take mine. While we struggled over it, he suddenly screamed and burst into tears. Mom immediately pulled him into her arms and screamed at me. Su Xiangyang, your brother suffered so much because of you. What else do you want from him? It wasn't me. Before I could explain, Su Yankyu squeezed out a few tears. Mom, don't be angry, it was my fault. I shouldn't have caused trouble by fighting with my brother over the toy. When Dad came home and saw the scene, he grabbed me and started beating me. A cold-blooded child like you should have been thrown away. Keeping you here will only bring disaster. I cried and begged him to stop, but the more I cried, the more he thought I was faking, and the harder he hit me. Mom and my sister watched coldly from a distance, as though they wanted Dad to beat their enemy to death. From that day on, anytime I made my brother cry, Mom and Dad would curse and beat me. Eventually, I stopped fighting him for affection. I stopped defending myself and stayed away from him. And now, they had abandoned me on a freezing operating table and left me to die. The second we got home, Su Yankyu collapsed onto the couch and said he was hungry. Our sister immediately rushed into the kitchen to show off a recipe she had just learned. Although she had never cooked before, she searched through healthy recipes on her phone, terrified that anything might upset him. Dad brought out the newest luxury gaming console, calling it a discharge gift to celebrate his narrow escape from death. Mom cleaned every inch of his room and filled it with healthy plants, saying fresh air would help him recover. Su Yankyu only had to relax on the couch and play games, yet the entire family revolved around him. My soul had returned home with them as well. But even though this place was so familiar, it had always felt freezing cold to me. Suddenly the doorbell rang and I saw a familiar figure, my girlfriend, Ji Anan. The moment she entered, she immediately asked about Su Yankyu. Mr. and Mrs. Su, I heard Chukyu was discharged today, so I brought some supplements for him. Su Yankyu immediately put down his game console and acted shy. Anan, you didn't have to come all this way. I'm already completely recovered. Xia Anan gave him a sweet smile. The cold, distant goddess she was around me became a sweet girl next door whenever she was with Su Yankyu. As I looked at her, she suddenly felt like a complete stranger. Then she abruptly changed the subject. Where's Su Xiangyang? If she hadn't mentioned me, the entire family might have forgotten I even existed. The moment Mom heard my name, her expression darkened. Why bring up that rotten kid? I scolded him a little that day and he stopped coming home. But that's fine. If he likes staying outside so much, he can stay gone forever. If he dies out there, this house will finally be peaceful. Sha Anan quickly nodded. It's probably better if he doesn't come back. He might disturb QQ's rest. Su Wanying came out carrying a nutritious meal and teased her. So have you decided when you're breaking up with Su Xiangyang? If you don't hurry and claim my brother, someone else might steal him. Sha Anan shyly lowered her head. I came to see QQ today and planned to talk to him about that too. An indescribable bitterness churned inside me and rose into my throat. I gave a self-mocking smile, turned around and refused to look at them again. I had gotten used to being unloved a long time ago. After dinner, Mom suddenly became restless. She returned to her room alone and searched through her phone. I walked over and saw that she was looking for my number. She called me again and again, but no one ever answered. After a while, she angrily threw her phone onto the bed. Now you dare ignore my calls? Do you really think anyone cares about you? Then she called the nurse from the hospital. What new trick did Su Xiangyang tell you he was planning? Tell him to stop pushing his luck, come home and apologize to his brother. Then maybe I'll let him back inside. The other end went silent for several seconds before the nurse spoke in a trembling voice. Director Su Xiangyang died a week ago. The crash ruptured his heart, but every doctor had been sent to Su Yanqiu's room, so no one was available to operate on him. Mom's pupils contracted, and she froze in place. But seconds later, she acted completely indifferent again. I knew she still refused to believe I was dead. Mom sneered. Su Xiangyang told you to say that, didn't he? Does he think this kind of lie will upset me? The nurse hurriedly explained. Director, I'm not lying, I swear on my life. I was surprised that a nurse who barely knew me would go so far to defend me. Mom was surprised too. Her usually harsh expression became visibly panicked. She reluctantly remembered the scene of the accident. When she arrived, Su Yangqiu and I were both lying in the road. I had no visible injuries and even seemed unusually alert. Meanwhile, Su Yangqiu had scrapes on his face and looked like he was in terrible pain. Later, he claimed he had pulled me from the car, but I tried to kill him by pushing him into traffic, causing him to get hit again. Mom frowned and spoke confidently. That's impossible. He and Chu were in the same car. Chu is already home, so how could Su Xiangyang have been hurt that badly? Don't think I can't see through his little act. He's just competing with his brother and trying to make me care about him. I'm warning both of you. Stop working together to cause trouble or you'll both regret it. Seeing that Mom refused to believe her, the nurse sighed helplessly. Director, I'm truly not lying. If you don't believe me, go look in the morgue yourself. Mom still acted cold and heartless, but she finally seemed to understand how serious this was. Her brow tightened, and her eyes became uncertain. Sensing Mom's hesitation, the nurse continued. Director, I'm only a nurse. Why would I dare joke about your son's life? Mom grew nervous and paced back and forth, her steps heavy and hurried. You shameless people actually teamed up to deceive me. You've got some nerve! Before the nurse could respond, Mom angrily jabbed the screen and hung up. Afterward, she sat uneasily in her bedroom, biting her lips so hard it turned white. Maybe she was worried that, as hospital director, she had misjudged the situation and killed her own son. Or maybe she feared being criticized for favoring Su Yangqiu. But no matter what, she wasn't worried about whether I lived or died. I was certain of that. Hearing Mom yelling, Dad opened the door. Anan is still here. Why are you shouting in your room? Lost in thought, Mom jumped in surprise. She clutched her phone against her chest and looked helplessly at Dad. The hospital nurse just said Xiangyang is dead. Could it really be true? Her voice trembled. This time, she finally seemed to believe the nurse. But Dad, still convinced I was faking everything, looked at her with contempt. How could you fall for that? If the accident were really that serious, someone as twisted as him would have dragged Chu down with him. How could Chu be standing here perfectly fine? In their eyes, I would always be the vicious criminal who couldn't stand seeing Su Yangqiu happy. I had expected that, but I never imagined they would still accuse me so cruelly after my death. Xia Anan hurried over to comfort Mom too. Exactly, ma'am. Su Xiangyang is stubborn as a cockroach. He's not that easy to kill. We should be grateful he hasn't cursed anyone else to death. As a spirit, I shouldn't have been able to feel anything, yet a deep chill spread through me. Xia Anan and I had been together for 3 years. She was the only person in the world I believed I could trust and depend on. She always sympathized with the pain my family caused me, and she had helped me through my darkest moments again and again. Before today, I had never once doubted her love. During those 3 years, I had never betrayed her and always tried my best to treat her well. My business had only just started, and I didn't make much money. After paying basic expenses, I spent nearly everything else buying her gifts. Balancing school and a startup kept me incredibly busy, but I always made time for her so she would feel secure. Right before I died, I had spent months saving money to buy the purse she wanted. It was still sitting in my car's trunk. I thought we would stay happy forever. Instead, I heard her joining my own family in insulting and rejecting me. My sister casually ate an orange and replied dismissively, "Wouldn't it be better if that annoying jerk died? What's there to worry about?" I always knew everyone favored my brother, but I never realized they thought so little of me. Even if they didn't like me after all these years, they should have known what kind of person I was. How could someone like me do something so despicable? Why would I risk my life just to compete for their attention? I wanted to explain, but no matter how loudly I screamed, no one could hear me. After everyone reassured her, Mom straightened her back and regained her usual arrogance. Tomorrow morning, I'll go to the hospital and expose them. If Su Xiangyang isn't in the morgue, I'll break his legs, and I'll fire that nurse too. Her words stabbed into my heart like a needle, leaving me unable to breathe. I couldn't understand how badly she wanted to see my corpse. Even if I were alive, she still planned to break my legs. Perhaps even the heavens pitied me because a light rain suddenly began falling outside. Their casual remarks struck me like one brutal slap after another, yet the pain left me completely voiceless. Only now did I finally understand that every one of them had been hoping I would die. Maybe they were eager to confirm my death, or maybe they only wanted to expose what they believed was another lie.